Hey there, traders. Welcome back to another recap. This is for Thursday, October 9, 2025. So you're looking at a daily chart of the SPY, and once again, they couldn't get too much farther than 673. They got up to almost 674, pulled down. So a down day and pretty much sideways in the big picture. They're climbing higher to sideways. We'll see what happens. I don't have a lot to say about it, but we'll come back to this at the very end of the video. Going into the day, here were the levels provided to subscribers before the opening bell. And notice there are two levels that are in this lighter blue color here, 673.05 down to 672.55. That was a zone, kind of a reference zone, not something we were going to trade against. We were just going to see if the bulls could hold that and stay above. That would be good for the bulls. But if they got below, if price got below that, that would be a sign of likely bearish price coming, like they would go lower. And you can read that right here. I said that in the morning. We're not going to trade that area just to see what the price would do with it. And then if price got underneath it, there was a lot of space down to 670.27, maybe 20 points or so. There could be support somewhere in between, but nothing I was comfortable with including, but 670.27, and of course a level underneath that, that was support for the day. So that's what we had going into the morning. Here's a screenshot of the SPY with the levels plotted at 9:11 a.m. Here is that same 1 minute chart after the market closed. So right out of the chute, they try to get up to hit 674.06. So if you recall, this was a level we had on the board yesterday. They never got there during the regular session, but in the overnight session, they went up and tagged it almost precisely, like a penny, within a penny or so, or maybe spiked it. And then it fell down like 20 points or so. So that was overhead resistance. So I thought it'd be important again today. They never made it, but that whole area must have resisted and pushed price back down. So they're down to this zone. We don't trade this. That was just a reference level to see what they would do. And as you can see, these two levels were respected. They bounced off of it, kind of ping pong between. Price got below this zone. That was our clue that lower prices were likely coming. And sure enough, they did. And I actually jumped into a little retracement here, and we'll see that in a minute when I show you the live recording. Didn't get anything out of that, but they came all the way down to 670.27. Now, if you're playing by the rules, you would adjust this level with a 5-cent buffer, so 670.32. And strictly speaking, if they come within 10 cents, which they did here, they got down to 670.42 and pulled away just enough for a 4-point base hit in the E-minis. That's 40 cents there. And then they came back down to it again. So when you see that kind of action, that's what I call a near miss. You've seen plenty of them. And if you're following along, you know that that's just a clue. It's just a safe thing to do to say, okay, that could have been the trade. Do I want to trust the level again? Because for all you know, they might get below it and have a destination farther down, and now you're out of the money. So by the rules, you're not going to trade this level, but they did hit it almost perfectly and bounce multiple times, as you can see. But we're not going to count this level for a base hit trade because of that right there, just to be consistent. They came down into 669.32, which would be 669.37, and kind of the same thing happened. This time they got down to 669.45 within 10 cents, pulled away quite a bit. Where'd they go? Right up to this other level. So another near miss. We're not going to count this. We're not going to trade this. So no trade, although they certainly ping-ponged between these two levels. They were important. And could you count this as a recycle trade? I like to see more time go by. There wasn't 20 minutes here. There was the next time, but that's just not the way I like to trade it. To me, that's already the first hit. So I won't count these, but just, ask yourself, if you had these levels in the morning, the game plan, something to go on, do you think maybe you could have pulled some points and dollars out of the market, knowing where support was down here? You would have needed to give this some more wiggle room and not be so precise about the levels and the rules, but, this whole area was support, as was this area down here. But anyway, it was what it was. We won't count any of these trades. Just a day on the flat line if you want to be precise. Here's my trading activity for the day. So I let them get underneath the zone. Saw that things looked pretty bearish at that point. But I did go long at a retracement level, tried to pull like 4 or 5 points, and then just jumped out at a wash. Actually made a tick, like, a whopping $12.50 on one tick with one contract when I didn't feel good about it. And that was a good sign, or was a good play because they went lower, as you know. But I didn't buy at 670.27, that near miss thing going on. But I was willing to buy lower, so I was going to scale in is what I'm trying to say here. There we go, 669.80, and then the official level here, 669.32. But when I saw them pull up here, I just canceled the order and never messed around with it. So by the time they got down to 669.32, I had already closed up shop. It was around 12 noon, per usual. Between 11:30 and 12 o'clock, I'd like to wrap up. So I didn't trade anything, and kind of wish I had just trusted the whole area down there as support, because it was. But no trades for me. I'm back at the daily chart and not showing the tracking log because I don't actually have the current tracking log on this computer. Not sure if I mentioned this. I'm on a vacation and in a rental house here full of people and kids, and there's a lot of noise. Hopefully this recording isn't coming across. But anyway, I forgot to copy over the spreadsheet where I keep the logs. So I don't have that on this computer, just on a laptop in a kind of some portable system and a portable microphone here. So I will catch that up when I get back in town. So for Monday's video, as far as tomorrow goes, I will provide the levels to subscribers. They'll be published. Not sure if I'm going to trade. If I do trade, I definitely won't record it because I just have this one laptop here and I don't have all my screens like I'm used to. But as far as the log goes, I'll just keep track of what happens tomorrow. I already know what happened today. Officially, there were no trades, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll keep track of it, and I'll make that up on Monday, and I will show you the log and see where things landed. So I'm not sure if there will be a recap video for tomorrow, but in any case, I will talk to you soon, most likely Monday in the next video. So until then, thanks again for watching. I appreciate the support. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your day.